All right, in this video, we're going to rig our friend here real quick. Um, but first, we've got to clean him up. So I've made sure there's any red grouping or anything happened, and every single one of these has had their transforms frozen. So now we just need to go through and sort of attach the pieces that need to be attached. So for the body, this piece here, uh, needs to be attached, but not quite yet. Let's do the arm and then we'll switch it and then we'll do that. We'll start at the hand. Okay, hand. Hand needs to be attached to this piece. Make them one thing. Combine them and then center the pivot and then freeze the transforms. So now that's the hand. So we can call that hand. Okay, if that's the case, then that means this piece and this piece need to be the same. So how's the hinge work up there? We can even make that piece the same. So the idea is that this whole piece will be solid and will pivot from there, and then the hand will pivot from this point as well. Okay, and we want to do the same thing there, and we can call this forearm, aim, forearm, and then this and this, and this all become the same piece. So we combine them, center the pivot, freeze transforms. This is arm. Great. I'm not sure what you are, but we'll delete you. You want to make sure before you delete those things they're not attached to anything. That's why I kind of looked. Okay, so now we have this arm, these three pieces of the arm are all good to go. And I'm going to select this fourth piece here. And I'm going to go Control D to copy them. And then I'll move them over here. And then view. So see, the only problem is that our hinges here are on the wrong side. So I have to take this piece and rotate it negative 180 degrees, negative 80, so that the hinge, no, come on, you, rotate around the Y, negative 180 degrees. Stay there. And I can bring this over again so that once it lines up with the forearm down here. And then all I need to do is bring this over here and rotate that around so it's the other way. And then if that's good, that's pretty good. Make sure they're about the same distance out, that this part right here is about the same distance as that, so it looks the same. Okay, and then we have these three pieces. Just need to come out so that the hinge has room to spin. And the hand is already, it's a flat hand, so we don't really have to worry with it. If the thumb were in no direction, we'd have to flip it, and it becomes a much bigger problem. But we're okay. Okay, the body, we just want to make sure that oh wait, we have to attach these pieces to the body, huh? You're right. Stop yelling at me. God. Okay, you, and you, and you. All right, that's all three of them. And we can call those body. This one's okay. We'll just name it pelvis we can delete that weird node. And now we just need to do the same thing with the leg. But the leg, there's no mirror or anything. With the leg, we just need to make sure that this piece and this piece are connected. Doop, doop, doop. Call it leg. And that this piece and where'd it go? Come on. This piece and this piece are connected. Doop, doop, doop. Shin. And this one's the foot. And now that that's all done, we can select both of them because we hidden the connection to the top there, so we don't have to make one there. And we try and make it an equal distance. So it's like if you use these things, see this one is 1 1/2 spaces to about there. So this one has to be about there too. Yeah, hopefully there's room up top. Looks a bit tight. Let's look. Why don't we move this into there and this one over to there, and then it's a little more equal. Okay. Perfect. Now he's all ready to be rigged. I know it seems like a lot of work. File, save. And now we can rig him. So for those of you who don't know about rigging, you'll learn it next semester, but we'll give you a quick tutorial. We're going to put bones in here that will replicate where his joints are in this character. And that will allow us to bend him in places once we've attached him. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is create a selection layer. I'm going to select all of him, create a selection layer, add selection to the layer, and make him a template. So template T, so I can't select him, but I can still see him. All right, then we go over to rigging, and we just want to create a bone. You want these bones to coincide with where the joints are. So for instance, where this joint is to where this joint is, so that when it rotates, it'll pivot from those 2 points. You also want to put one here. I'm just going to put, I just click down once. In order to create a joint, sorry, you click down once and click down twice, and you can click down as many times as you want. It keeps making them. If you just click down once and hit enter, it creates a rotational node like that one. And you do that when you want to connect these two up. So I already have this wonderful chain down here, and I want to make those go to this one. So I select the child, which is the one down here, and then I hit P, and then the parent, and hit P, and it connects it up. And so now these are connected like we'd like. And I can do the same thing the other direction, where I can put a node here at the end of the hand, and then I can select that node and go back to the hand node and go P, and now it'll rotate at that joint. And then we can do the same exact thing for the legs. So, but remember the legs have a little bit of bend in them, so we're going to start here in the front view. And then we're going to go to the right view, or the left view, either one's fine. And we're going to move these bones to places where I think they should, where the pivots are. So the pivot for the foot is right there. The pivot for the knee is right here. What is that node bone? What's the hand bone? Weird, it's way down there. Okay, and so then we got that. And then we need a couple more bones for the body, right? We need one bone in the hips here to control everything. And then we need another bone here between these two so that the chest can move. And then we need another bone here so that the arms have a place to connect. And then we just going to put one through the top because if there's a bone up here, the envelope grabs better. And I'll explain what that is when you get to the rigging class. But just know that you should always like go through the mesh, not stay within it. All right, so if I select these two, now I have the arms, and through the wonders of modern software in rigging, if we go to the rigging mode here and then go to skeleton here, we can mirror the joints. Oops, sorry. It helps if you have it selected. Skeleton. Did I actually mirror the joints? And I did. I knew I did that. Okay, one more time. You have to give it a good direction. Mirror joints, and I would like it in the YZ. Let's see. How's that? Yay! And it put it right over there. It has to be connected to a main node, right? So we connect the leg up to the main node, and we collect this up now to the hips. So now all that's one thing, but we just want this one to mirror. So I'm going to hit apply again, and then it's all mirrored. And now we have a skeleton ready for rigging. All we have to do now is go through all the pieces and make sure that they're all connected. I should name all the bones. Later on, this will be, when you go into the game, it'll get really angry if you have multiple characters that share names. But for right now, in this demo, I'm not going to name the bones, but I should name them like hand left, hand right. All right, and get out of template mode. And I'm going to select everything in the scene, the pelvis, all these bones, just like that. Don't click on it here, always do it in the outliner. I'm going to go to skin here, and I'm going to go find skin. And it's going to attach all these little bones right where the joints are. And now we can animate our character around if you want. It is that easy. But before you animate your character around, this is called the zero pose. Don't do anything while we're until we've set keys on the zero pose. So now the mesh is no good to us anymore. The mesh is now owned by this outer part here is now owned by the bones. The bone, you can only, if you want to move the robot around, you have to move the bones. You can't try and move the outside parts anymore. They are no longer movable. They are locked. So we need to set animation keys here. So give this 30 frames. This is the time slider down here where you set animation. I'm going to click in here on frame 0 and hit S. I hit S. It's not being very nice. I'm going to go to the animation thing and go key, set key. Ha ha ha. You stink. I have cap locks on. Cap locks negate hotkeys. And I'm going to go to frame 30 and hit S again. And now I have the same frame on either side. If this little red button is here, anytime you move things, it it rotates. So now he's like lifting his leg, and we can rotate his arms out. Honestly, those hinges are only built for one direction. Right. This is kind of called an idle. Not really. It's sort of an idle. But if I play it now, your robot has animation, and you're able to go in and animate the heck out of it, and all made off of one object. All right, one last little bit. In order to get this in the engine and working, we need to export it. So we're going to go File, Export All. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to make sure cameras is not ticked because we do not want to export the camera. And then we're going to call this widget robot. And we're going to export it as an FBX. If you come in here in the FBX exports, animation should be ticked, but if it isn't, please tick it. All right, I'm just going to export this to my desktop. Boom. And now I'll see you in Unity. Okay, so cough. Great way to start off the recording again. Here we are in Unity and we're going to import our character. So we go to the character tab under assets and we import a new asset and we go to the desktop and we find our widget bot and we import it and there it is. And we can stick him out there. He's tiny, so we scale him up so you can actually see our widget bot. Now he's bigger than the other robot. And we play it. And of course, he doesn't do anything because his animation isn't really on him. His mesh is there and the colors came through, which is kind of cool, but the animation is not. So we stop this again and we go in here and we go, what's the deal? How come you're not playing my animation? It's because it's here and it needs to be reapplied. So you select this and you just drag it onto him. Boop. Like that. And now if you select him in here, you should do it. It should be on loop automatically. If not, we're going to have to go and fix it. All right, so now we go back and play. He's doing his little robot dance. He did his little robot dance once. So we need to loop the animation. Oh, here's all the animation keys on these. I opened it up, it's all the keys on all the different parts of the body. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, okay, here we go. There's my clip. Loop. Just click on that and it'll do it again and again and again and again. All right, so now if we go back in the game, he should do his little dance over and over again.